There was primarily AFAB or femme presenting people in the server. There were a lot of people who participated in a. If people want to have not safe for work channels, I think that's totally fine. If there's all adults in there, who cares, right? As long as all the behavior in there is consensual, go for it. Let your freak flag fly. And what happened was in that server, Donk was in that server, not unsurprisingly, and Donk had started to intimidate a number of people in that server. Donk, in my opinion, if you have ever watched Donk, is, in my opinion, very mentally and emotionally abusive. And I think what they entity, not in order to empathize with other people or to educate other people, but to raise themselves above other people so they can talk down. And Donk had demonstrated that when they don't like someone, they're able to capitalize on their identity and or exploit or tokenize it in order to destroy that person's reputation. An example of that had happened several times with Donk is Donk didn't like a certain person in that server. From what I understand, this person was not a well-liked person and has problems themselves. But an example of the sort of thing that Donk would do when they didn't like someone is as follows. Someone had passed away, and as a result of that, people were posting images and information about their cultural practices with regard to people passing away. Donk made a video of them performing some sort of ceremonial process that they would do ordinarily when someone passes away, and asked people, I'm posting this, but I don't want to talk about it, or I'm not allowed to talk about it. And the person, who was a femme presenting person, that Donk didn't like, literally said, why are we not allowed to ask questions about it? And a simple answer could have been that this is a practice that is very private to our people and we're not allowed to disclose it. And instead, Donk did what Donk does. And Donk started saying, you're violating my consent. You're violating my boundaries. And then ranted and raved that this person was a racist because of the fact that this person had dared to ask about a video that Donk had prepared for the server to share with the people in the server. Now, in my opinion, that's some weird performative fucking shit. You are filming yourself doing a cultural practice about someone passing away. Great. That's good when you want to share, educate people. But then you're also showing yourself in a sad emotional state. And then when people ask you, what is this practice? You then turn around and say, you're a racist, use that as an opportunity to berate them, and then say that this person violates people's consent, as if this person had raped you. And people in the server had seen that when Donk doesn't like you, Donk will engage in weaponizing or tokenizing their identity in order to destroy you and discredit you. Their culture is Maori from New Zealand. And with that in mind, with that context, there was a woman in that server, and this person does not speak to me because of the fact that I think I'm mask presenting, and I think that, frankly, it's in their best interest probably not to. But I can tell you that I know that this is factual, what has been shared with me. What happened was this person was in the Not Safe for Work channel. This person had posted a redacted photo of themselves. And what they simply said after they posted the redacted photos of themselves, which I don't think is problematic at all, they said, and actually let me just check my notes because I don't want to speak out of turn. Sorry, I wasn't actually prepared for this live. Let me just go over my notes really quickly. God, the fact that I have notes on this is crazy. They said specifically, where was it? Where does request or interact? Give me one moment. Sorry. Apologies for the flow. This is where I get really nervous. It drives me nuts. Sorry.
You're
It's not.
fine.
No,
It's not that bad. You're good.
I know. Everyone's saying you're not that bad. Freaks me
Talked
out.
about how the girls were all
Nope.
girls,
Nope.
and
Nope.
not
Nope.
saying.
Nope. Everyone can mute up because freaking out even more now. Thank you. Um, if that person is listening, if you can emote the place where I goddamn put it and where I summarized. Okay, I mean, I'll say what it is generally speaking, okay? What it was, oh, here it was. They posted a photo of themselves, redacted, and under the photo they said, react to this if you would like me to DM you it uncensored. Okay? Now, this person had been abundantly clear in the server, they are only interested in them presenting people. Okay? And personally, I don't view that as an invitation for anything. I view that as an invitation to express interest that you may want to receive a schmood. And if so, then you are giving to send you a schmood by reacting to it. I don't think that when you are reacting to that, that means that you are guaranteed a schmood, right? And so what ended up happening was this person posted a screenshot, redacted, said react to this, with an emoji, if you would like me to DM it to you uncensored. If you would like me to DM it to you uncensored. And Donk reacted to it. I'm not going to judge Donk reacting to it. But then certain people started to not get the nude. And one person posted something to the extent of, I'd really like to get that, something complicated. You click the emoji and you're expressing interest. And what ended up happening was she did not want to share it with a lot of people. And as a result, someone did say, hey, are you going to share it? And at that point, Donk slid into their DMs. Now, it's important to note the dates here, right? If you look at the first date, it's the 25th of August. And Donk, I don't believe, has deleted any of their DMs, okay? But that person did, for obvious reason, delete DMs with Donk. And so what happened was you can see very clearly that they had said hello at some point on August 25th and had no prior existing connection whatsoever, right? Literally none. But then on the 10th, Donk reaches out again and said, also, since one of us got to say something, I don't know why one of us have got to say something, but since one of us got to say something, I'll state that I was serious when I seconded an AFAB person's comment about pics in the DM, LOL, only if you are comfortable. And so in response to that, they ended up capitalizing on what someone else had said and basically tried to get a screenshot of this schmood that they had said they would not share. Hold on just one second. And they tried to get the schmood. They tried to get a copy of the schmood and followed up in DMs. And I think there's a lot of noise. Let me be super clear. I think there's a lot of noise over the fact that you could say, and I think Donk would try to claim, that this person had in some way signaled that they want to give away nudes. And I think that's noise. I think what the person did was say, hey, let me know in this safe way in the server if you're interested, and I'll reach out to you. That's a safe way of doing it. And when Donk didn't get what they wanted, Donk reached out and said, hey, send me that nude. And this person ended up feeling intimidated. Now, you can judge whether or not they should have felt intimidated. That's for you to judge one way or another. In my opinion, the understanding, and I think it's a very fair understanding from my standpoint, is that this person felt that if they in any way pissed off Donk, that they would be subject to Donk's retaliation. And when Donk doesn't like you, Donk figures out some way to claim that you are attacking them in their identity, labeling you a racist, and getting you isolated. And so that person then ended up sending an image, and Donk ended up not talking to them for like a week. I think a week went by before there was even further communication. That was it. That was the whole interaction. It made the person feel not great. It made the person feel as though they had been violated, but they didn't go around saying that Donk was a predator. They didn't go around saying that Donk was dangerous. They didn't go around saying Donk had been sliding into people's DMs in order to get nudes, although that is what Donk did. Donk did slide into this person's DMs in order to get nudes. A couple of weeks went by, and after a few weeks went by, this person had started to hear other stories. And this person learned specifically that there were two other, at minimum, AFAB people who shared spaces with Donk, who had approached this person and confided in this person that Donk had engaged in inappropriate behavior with them, which this person judged to be much worse than what had happened to them. And we don't like to play hierarchy, right? No one likes to play hierarchy with regard to who is more harmed or not. But the person who felt like Donk had slid into their DMs asking for nudes, which was not the way it was meant to go, judged that Donk was doing things that was more inappropriate with these two other people who had come to her in order to share that story. Okay? Now, unfortunately, I went out of my way to redact this, and this was silly. And so, just to be super clear, this is going to be a little bit confusing, but this is not because of requests that were made or anything. This was just me being overly cautious at the time, and it's not really relevant. I referred to this person as Anne. I have not, I'm not going to, it doesn't really matter what their name is. That's going to pop up. The point is that this is proof that on November 20th, which would have been around about 6 to 7 weeks after the sliding into the DMs for nudes happened to this person. This person had now learned from these two other AFAB people that Donk had engaged in similarly inappropriate behavior. And when I say similar, I'm not saying that it was similar in terms of asking for schmoods, but similar in terms of it being sexually inappropriate. And what ended up happening was, this is the phone call that took place between Donk's first victim and Maddie on November 20th. And this was a 2 to 3 hour call. And this call is where Donk's victim explained to Maddie what Donk had done and all of their concerns. And this idea that they didn't know is a pure fabrication and lie. And I can fully attest to that. To the extent you all trust my word, I can attest that I've done as much due diligence as possible to confirm that on November 20th is when Maddie is notified that Donk has been engaging in inappropriate relations with no less than 3 AFAB people. And Maddie expressed concern during the call. Maddie expressed empathy during the call and said, "I got you. I believe you. I know that this person told Maddie, I can share with you DMs, I could share with you whatever." And Maddie did what we tell people to do. Maddie said, "No need to share anything. I trust you. I believe you." Meaning, the person specifically offered to give the DMs that I just showed so that Maddie would believe what happened. And what, there's not really much context that's required. 2 screenshots, bada bing, bada boom. It's revealed what happened. And, Maddie did what would have been perceived to be the right thing and said, "No need, I trust you. They were acting inappropriately, I get it." Maddie on that very call continued by saying, "But I'm really worried about Donk hurting me." And I can attest to the fact that the victim never once said they were scared of Donk. They're not scared of Donk. I can attest that that person never said, "I need you to protect me. I'm afraid that Donk is going to DOX me." Instead, I can tell you that Maddie told this person over and over again, "I'm terrified." Maddie said, "I'm terrified of the fact that Donk has all my personal information and that they may try to dox me, so I need to think about how to handle this." Now, I don't know this for sure, but they may or may not have also mentioned the proximity to Artemis that we later saw in another screenshot. But I can attest to the fact that they did say that Maddie was afraid of Donk and not the other way around. Meaning, let's be really clear, Maddie was prioritizing her safety, her concerns, over the fact that she was alerted to the fact that Donk had engaged in no less than three sexually inappropriate activities. And Maddie in no less than three sexually inappropriate activities. And Maddie with the victim on January 5th. And when Maddie follows up with the victim on January 5th, it's to express a couple of things that are going on, but they're all pertaining to Donk and specifically what happened. And if you read this, it says they're explaining to Donk's victim, it's to express to Donk and specifically, which is weird to me. Why aren't you just using the word Donk? But basically they're saying, can we talk about Donk after the call out lives when you have the emotional bandwidth? And then says, no, this person is still in my space, meaning Donk is still in my space, is still in my space that we discussed with the secret Discord that was nuked after NSFW pictures were kept. Maddie then says, it's okay, I've just been thinking about how to handle this because they're still in my space and I wanted to touch base. And Maddie makes really clear, still in my space and knows my real name info. This idea that Maddie was trying to protect the victim is a flat out lie. The victim never asked to be protected. The victim never said they were scared of Donk doxing them. Maddie was 100% terrified that she was going to be doxed. Maddie prioritized themselves, as they tend to do. On January 6th, they follow up, and look at the word usage here. Maddie says, I am nervous. Not that I'm nervous for you. I am nervous about distancing myself for no reason because Donk is so close with so many people in my circle who would ask me questions like Artemis. And Donk has my real info. But I also didn't want to approach them about anything in case something would lead them back to you. Well, that's interesting, right? So let's be super clear. What Maddie is communicating here is they have not spoken to Donk, right? Maddie's indicating that I don't want to talk to Donk because I don't want to point the finger in your direction. And on the flip side, what they're also communicating, in my opinion, is I'm really worried they have my information, but also, you should be worried for yourself as well. But the victim never said, please worry for me. The victim never said, hey, can you please do me a favor and protect me because I think Donk is going to dox me. There's going to be no screenshots showing that. Maddie then continued and said, also, have you told anyone about this person, meaning Donk? And watch this centering that takes place here. Because someone held another call out live about me, Petty, Nerdy, Gem, and Donk, and said I have a predator in my space. So again, Maddie, as of January 6th, knows that people are saying Donk is a predator. And then Maddie says, and this is Maddie, without question, doing two things. A, guilting the victim by suggesting that the victim is inappropriately telling other people what Donk did, which is looking bad on Maddie. And secondly, is prioritizing their own safety. Because what she then says is, I don't know if it's something made up, a person I don't know, or if they're talking about this person, meaning Donk, in which case, meaning if they're calling me a bad person for having a predator in my space, in which case I'm a little annoyed. Now, let me be clear. Maddie is saying I'm annoyed at you, the victim, right? So what she's saying is, I don't know if it's something made up, a person I don't know about, or if they're talking about Donk, in which case I'm a little annoyed at you, Donk's victim, because we, meaning Maddie and Donk's victim, have been talking about Donk, and I'm trying to think of a way to remove Donk from my space without putting myself or you in harm's way. And so what Maddie is saying here is she's scared of Donk, right? Maddie's clearly indicating Donk would dox me, and I'm afraid of Donk, and you should be afraid of Donk. Maddie's also saying, I didn't talk to Donk, though. I didn't talk to Donk at all. I didn't share anything with Donk. And Maddie is also saying, how dare you go around and tell people that I am harboring a predator? While in the same breath, Maddie is literally saying that Donk is still in their space. Now, where does this now come with regard to taking screenshots? Here is the gross thing.
Irish.
What?
Just right before you get onto that, we can keep this going on my live. But
Mac, it's 10 minutes more. No more.
okay. Um, that's fine. I'm just not gonna be able to talk for the rest of the live. So just act as if this is your platform and just let me know when
Okay.
you're like good to transition over to your live or whatever you want to do next.
Okay, great. So, flash forward now. The last one was what? January 6th. 2 months later. By this point, the victim has realized Maddie's just not a good person. Maddie's not a safe person. Maddie is not someone to be trusted. And this person deleted their DMs with Maddie. I don't know why you would keep your DMs with someone who has shown themselves to not care about you, right? In November, I think it was November 10th, for 2 months, Maddie kept Donk in this space that was meant to be a safe space for women for 2 months. And when they followed up about it, Maddie again said, I thought I was working with you. Why are you telling people there's a predator in my... So now, 2 months later, after the person leaves and has deleted their DMs, Maddie messages someone else and says, and when they're referring to Lily, Lily is Anne, Lily is the victim. That Lily slash Donk's victim expressed to Maddie that they were afraid of Donk. You are not going to hear that that victim said that that Donk is a threat to them to the point in a server with all these women. Because the whole point of this victim coming to Maddie was to get Donk removed. And so Maddie is trying to suggest that Maddie was protecting, shows that that's bullshit is two things. A, Maddie will not be able to show that the victim was saying, I'm terrified for myself, please protect me from Donk, and don't remove him. Not going to see that screenshot. The other part of it is if you're worried about the victim, in the same breath, why would you say you're worried about yourself? If anyone came to me in my server and said there's someone who's acted sexually inappropriate, and I sat on that for 2 months, and then I came back to that person and I said, hey, I don't really want to remove this person because they know my real information and they could hurt me, I'm a scumbag. Because I'm literally saying that I'm scared for my safety. I'm scared that I'll be doxxed. And because of that fear, I am going to allow this sexual predator to stay in a space that is literally designed to be safe for women. Now, what gets even more gross is this final screenshot. Same day, a few minutes later. Maddie says, I addressed it all in a right after the new year. That mod call, I can attest, Petty Pagan was on. I can attest that Petty Pagan knew everything about Donk. They then said, I'm really scared of Irish and Echo. Please, I'm trusting you to not put me in danger. The word danger, I'm really scared of Irish and Echo. Please, I'm trusting you not to. Then they said Donk showed me receipts that directly contradicted what Lily told me. And other people told me they were sexually harassing that server as well, Olive's private server. Between those things, I took Donk's word. A couple of really important things to point out. First of all, it was not Olive's private server. Super, super clear about this. It was not Olive's private server. telling other people that not only trying to suggest that Olive had a private sex server, but also was suggesting that Olive ran a server that permitted mass presenting people to sexually harass people, which is wild given the fact that Maddie had a server, and Maddie's server did have someone who was mass presenting who was sexually harassing women. And so Maddie preferred to slander Olive's name and suggested Olive was the problem when Olive had nothing to do with it. Don't ask about the victims, guys. I know you're not trying to be mean, but don't ask about the victims, okay? The next part that I want to point out is that's really important. Dunk showed me receipts that directly contradicted what Lily told me. There are two things to recognize from that. Dunk showed me receipts means what? I spoke to Dunk about Lily's claims. So what that means is that Maddie, after promising the victim, I will not tell Dunk. I will not go near Dunk. I won't share this story. You're safe with me. I got you. I'm a girl's girl. Went to Dunk and said, hey, Dunk, this crazy woman is accusing you of sexually inappropriate behavior. Didn't warn Lily. Didn't tell Lily, hey, you know what? I respect what you're telling me, but I don't know you very well, so I have to reach out to Dunk. I want to hear their side. Didn't give them a heads up. And not only did that, but also told Dunk while at the same time telling Lily that Dunk is dangerous and could dox and hurt people. So really process that. Maddie is in the same breath acknowledging that Dunk is a dangerous person who will harm women, while also acknowledging I'm going to go tell Dunk what Lily told me so that I can hear Dunk out. Right? Fucked up. The next point is that Maddie then says, Dunk showed me receipts. There's a couple of problems with this. The problems are as follows. There's only two relevant receipts. A, the screenshot from the server, the NSFW server, where Lily would have posted a redacted photo of themselves. This, if you want me to send you a uncensored version. And the other receipt would have been what I just showed you, which was the DMs, right? And the DMs are pretty goddamn explicit. The DMs, let me just pull it up again. The DM, now even though this person has deleted their DMs, it's very clear from these DMs. And if these DMs exist, like if Dunk gave DMs to Maddie, okay, Maddie can show those DMs. Redact names and protect people, but show the DM. Because what these DMs show is that Dunk messaged her asking for a nude, right? There's no question that's what this shows. What's annoying to me is as follows. A, the victim offered to share this with Maddie. And Maddie said, I'm a girl's girl, I got your back. And so the victim never had a chance to prove their claim, was never asked to prove their claim. But Maddie went to Dunk, the person who Maddie said is a dangerous mass presenting person, told Dunk that this crazy woman is making these allegations, and then is saying that Dunk showed screenshots, which means Dunk was either screenshotting from the Not Safe for Work channel, and there was an explicit requirement no one was allowed to screenshot. No one was allowed to screenshot in that channel. The only other receipt would have been this, and if you look at what this receipt says, this is Dunk messaging the victim and confirming absolutely no screenshotting or sharing. And so once the victim knew that Dunk is going around sharing her personal DMs, she then felt like, okay, I got to share my DMs now to clear my name. The victim had not shared these DMs with Maddie. Maddie never asked for them. Maddie never asked for contradictory. Maddie never went back to the victim and said, hey, this is what Dunk had to say. What do you have to say? Instead, Maddie heard the victim, said, I got your back, said, I'm going to work in removing Donk, explained that Donk is a very dangerous person. 2 months later, followed up and said, I'm still working to remove Donk. Can you do me a favor and not go around telling people that I harbor sexual predators in the meantime? And then, clearly, after receiving those things from Donk, which I don't know what those screenshots could have shown, but I'd love to see Maddie try to explain it. Maddie then said, Donk showed me the receipts, which means Donk was either screenshotting people's nudes against their explicit rules of the server, or screenshotting the DMs, which was also not permitted. And then said, Donk showed me the receipts that directly contradicted what Lily told me. Then Maddie says, this other woman had a server where sexual harassment was happening, which was a lie. And then Maddie says, between those two things, I took Donk's word. That's it. That's the entire story. This is what Nerdy and Pagan was talking about when Nerdy and Pagan were saying, we weren't notified. Well, that's a lie. We have evidence that they were notified. It's a lie. We have 20th. We don't just have the phone call. We literally have the follow-up messages where we know that Maddie followed up 2 months later and is clearly talking about Donk in this situation, saying that they're dangerous, and is also talking about complaining that people were daring to call Maddie a predator for keeping this predator in her server filled with women for another 2 months. So Petty Pagan and Nerdy are on that live demonstrably lying again. And I can say that without question, Petty Pagan and Nerdy knew all of this, and they just held a live where they tried to blame the victim for trusting Maddie when Maddie said, I'm a girl's girl, I don't need proof. And then went behind the victim's back and got sufficient proof from the perpetrator and then took the perp's word. And now, instead of saying, you know what, upon reflection, wow, that was fucked up of me, Maddie, Petty, Nerdy, Donk, and now Artemis are all complicit in trying to demonize this victim and trying to suggest that this victim was a fucking liar. And this victim didn't prove their story, even though the victim could have easily proved it. With one screenshot could have proved it. These are not safe people. That's it. That is the totality of this presentation. It took me 20 minutes to debunk their biggest fucking claims with screenshots motherfuckers can read. So respectfully, if you see Nerdy, Pagan, Donk, who are the other asshats? Artemis or Maddie. If you see them in lives, you joined that live and you said, why did you jeopardize a victim? Why did you lie on a victim's name? Why did you let a sexual predator in your server for 2 months? And you can call it whatever the fuck you want. They'll spin it. Irish told people to harass me. If it's harassment for you to be held accountable for your wrong fucking actions, then you're the problem. These people should never be allowed to be on a live without being confronted for this and being forced to apologize. Not forced in a way that they're coerced, because they're going to spin that as well. But they should not be allowed to continue lying on victims' names, slamming them for them to save face. It's gross. That's it. That's all I got to share.
Irish. You Irish.
Jesus Christ.
Irish.
What do you mean, Jesus Christ? Is that all kind of new? Because I really have only been getting my head around this part of it in the past 24 hours. Did you all kind of understand this before? And I was the one behind?
I mean, I have
No,
not been super involved, so no. But have you ever heard the saying, like, those who stand for nothing fall for anything?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this group is just the embodiment of what that phrase is supposed to mean.
Oh, absolutely.
Embodiment of what that phrase is supposed to mean.
Oh, absolutely. It's so bold of them to go on live and to just blatantly lie. It's so bold of them to go on live and to just blatantly lie. Frankly, nothing. It is very bold of them, not in a good way. It's not a compliment.
Can we see if Maddie has posted anything yet?
Yeah, my iPad is.
Someone in the
I
comments
haven't
said,
seen anything.
well, someone in the comments said that she did. It's on number 2. It's on number 2, account number 2.
Yeah, all of her accounts are private though, so
Someone's gonna have. Does anybody? Someone's gonna have. Does anybody?
screen
fun's
is
gone. So
Someone's gonna have. Does anybody?
screen
fun's
is
gone. So
the shit out of their live, A, and B, request to join their live and confront them live about what they're hiding. Because if you comment, you're going to get blocked immediately, like without
Do you guys
being able to
want
say
to listen
anything.
to this, or
I can only half big screen you.
it's literally just a picture of a fucking cat. There's no receipts or anything.
God, I knew
So
it.
you have to scroll through it. It's 4 minutes long. There are some pictures.
Oh, okay. Then in that case, hold on. Let me get my fucking phone stand.
It's basically Maddie sending Artemis the receipts for Artemis to send to me when they blocked Dawn, which I went on live and I said, yes, I received them. They blocked Dawn. Which I went on live and I said, yes, I received them. They blocked.
You said it on that live before, on the first one.
Yeah, so a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah, a whole lot of nothing.
I want to.
Definitely mentioned that.
I'm going to add this very quickly. If they are saying we never knew Dunk was a predator, and I just demonstrably showed they did. If they're saying we never knew Dunk was a predator, and I just proved they did know, why am I going to believe them when they say we didn't know Dunk was a schmatzi?
Literally, it's just like you already lied about one thing. We're not gonna keep believing you after that.
That's what happens when you fuck up your credibility, I suppose. Okay. Hold the fuck up. Oh my goodness. Okay. God damn it. Hold on.
Hey, Brussels.
No, I'm just trying to set this up so I don't have to hold anything. Cause I want bread. So I'm gonna eat some bread.
I love bread.
Jesus Christ. Okay. This couch is not flat. This worked perfectly fine yesterday. There we go. Fucking, I should be an engineer. Okay.
I'll say this. I know this will get spun 1,000 ways, but to any of Nerdy's victims specifically, if you believe that you have to report her based upon what she's done, because you feel that she is very unsafe based on what has happened, feel free to let me know, and I will happily facilitate that. Wait, that's not a real Maddie account. Someone is saying in the comments that's not a real Maddie account.
No, that's a fake one. It's a fake
This
one.
is a fake Maddie account. Tired leftist millennial.
No,
Two.
no. In the comments.
In the comments, sorry.
One in the
Irish,
comments.
can you let Bun back up, please?
Why the hell are there cats?
Okay.
Alright, so after being called a Nazi and a rapist platformer over the last 2 days, and partially some of this has been going on for the last 5 or 6 months, I am just going to address this once and for all and be done. This video is going to be in a few parts, and I'm just going to be going through a bunch of receipts. A specific group of people has been making a lot of claims about me with not a lot of evidence, so I'm just going to touch on the biggest ones, show my receipts, and move on. I will not be ever addressing this again after this. I'm gonna start out with the most
Cop out.
recent set of claims, which has to do with Donk. It is being claimed that I and other people who regularly share my platform knew about their past, ideological beliefs as a Nazi and a white supremacist, and that we knowingly platformed them regardless. That is absolutely untrue. This has been repeated many times by multiple people, and they have yet to show any evidence. As soon as I was informed on Monday, I started investigating it with my moderators and my admins. And by around noon or so, Donk had been removed from my space. I sent these receipts over to Artemis, who agreed to send them to the people running the call out live so they would be made aware as I have a boundary that I will not be in touch with them directly. So here is when they were removed from the platform. And here is the receipt showing they are unfollowed by me. They have since unfollowed me as well. It was confirmed that the information was sent to this group of people, and then I said that I would make a server and moderator announcement when I got back from picking up my dogs that day from the groomer. Here is the screenshot of the notice to my mods.
I love what Kale just said. Unfollowed, but not blocked. Press pause.
Follower.
You can see that
Press
it has
pause.
been sent to this group as well.
Russ,
I cannot believe that
Brussels is
after
cool.
how I act on my lives, I am being put in a position where I have to say that I don't condone.
Yeah, Irish wanted you to
Like,
pause.
can you go back 20 seconds and let's show that they're a fucking liar, right? This is why I'm going to now start saying Maddie was knowingly friends with a Nazi. Here's why. Right there. Press pause. Look for where they said we didn't know about Donk. I've seen this. There, right there, right there. Oh, no, that's the all right thing. Hang on.
You just want that message? That was sent to me.
Yeah, can you send it to me? I have it as well. It's just so fucking small.
None of
Yeah,
us know about Donk's history on the all right.
Yeah, that's the alt right, but I'm pretty sure Echo, didn't they say in that same message we didn't know about Donk being a predator? Yeah. Is it on that side?
I believe I got the same one.
There, right there. Donk is a predator. Right there. So zoom in and you'll see that it says we didn't know about Donk being a predator. That's where you get them. That's where they're a liar. Right? Right there. We didn't know Donk is a predator. I want to clarify the claims. So what is it? Can you read that out, Echo? Because I don't have it in front of... Oh, fuck it. Where is it? Hang on. Donk is a...
No, I got a different one.
I have that specific one. Hold on. Let me pull it up. Because this is how... See, liars can't keep their lies together. Hang on. I'm pretty confident. Donk is a...
Liar, liar, pants on fire.
Oh! Gosh darn it. It's just... You know what? I just want to say to my community, I don't know if you're whatever motivated by, but whatever you're motivated by, whether it be spite or whatever, I love that you guys get everything. All right, so here is what it says in full. I've been informed that the call out lives for Donk will continue today, and it's likely that Petty, Nerdy, and I will once again be brought into discussion. A recurring topic that continues to surface in relation to us is the allegation that we have known Donk is a predator. I want to clarify the claims being circulated do not accurately reflect reality. That is them saying that they were not informed that Donk is a predator, even though I literally showed the screenshot January 5th of Maddie talking about the fact I don't like that people are saying we're harboring a predator. They're literally lying in the screenshot that they're using to show they're not liars. Sorry, you can go ahead, Brussels.
As you can see, that should have been sent to this group as well. I cannot believe that after how I act on my lives, I am being put in a position where I have to say that I don't condone Nazis and white supremacy ideology, but I do not. I do not allow them on my platform. I do not allow Zionists on my platform. If you watch my lives, you know that my moderators regularly check like the reposts and videos of the guests who come up on panel, and they are swiftly removed if they are either Nazis or Zionists. Even if a person used to hold those beliefs and they don't, in the case of Donk, I will never allow someone like that in my space. My first and top priority will always be making my space, whether it's on TikTok, on Discord, or in any other platform, a safe place for marginalized people. And I could never, in good conscience, have someone who used to have that ideology in my space, even if they have shown that they have grown and changed. That is simply not something that I will ever do. My moderators, my admins, and I took action to look into this and remove Donk as soon as we were made aware that this was something that they used to believe. I am absolutely not psychic, so I am not quite sure why we are being held to this standard that we're supposed to know something about someone that we've never been told. But there's really nothing more that I or anyone else can do besides react to information when we receive it. And in this case, we reacted to it within just a few hours. All right. After being called a Nazi, another thing that keeps getting brought up is how I handled the Cody.
Don't play any more videos, Brussels. Just don't play any more videos yet. Irish, I'm sending you a really important message that I need you to read.
I'm very
Is it, which one specifically?
Second.
A different victim? What's the name? If you could message me the name of the victim.
I'm curious to know if Artemis knew about these allegations about Donk. Does anyone happen to know? If anyone in here has any idea if Artemis knew about these allegations against Donk, please let me know. My Discord is Katuchi. Please feel free, because I'm very curious.
It's also funny how she says, "Oh, we're being held to that standard or whatever," but they also hold the people that they've kicked. They have held to a specific standard. So what do you mean?
Lena, can you message me what is the specific name? Hold on one second. Lena, just message me the specific name and I'll answer you. Lena, just message me the specific name and we'll know if we can continue playing or not. I'm just going to wait till I get that. You can DM me. Are you DMing me right now and I'm not getting it?